we are all contributing to global warming. Since we are very dependent on it, so let's take a look at the future of oil and gas, and a deeper understanding to it. As you can see, consumption is rising, but these are all reserves. The blue one and the red one, these are potential future reserves. So as you can see, there's not much oil left, and to dig into deeper oceans is going to be expensive as well. I believe it's going to be more expensive than generating from PV system later on. This is the how other political activities affected, and natural disasters, the price of oil and gas. So, and the current news stated that TNB also have a shortage in gas supply. So that means Malaysia has a problem actually, but we are going to discuss that. So, and then the other source that is growing in Malaysia is coal. Although coal is not very popular for the Go Green campaigns because it's the most #1 contributor. But this is the price of coal still rising, and this is our main issue. We do not have coal reserves. I mean, in Malaysia itself, so we import mostly from South Africa, Australia, and Indonesia. And the thing about it is, although it's currently the most cheapest one, but as you can see, we have to compete with China soon, and China is going to bid for higher price, and we are going to have a higher coal price later on. Okay, those are the coal reserves. Still around 800 billion tons left. It's a lot more, but the issue is not using it all, it's to conserve it, because we're going to need it later on when we find a way in the renewables how to penetrate a maximum amount of renewables to the grid. So this is some of the newspaper articles I've been researching throughout the year while doing the business. So as you can see, floods in Australia is also causing fuel costs to rise. Means then we have to incur the losses of actually importing this. And this is the gas shortage supply issue. And there was some article saying that electricity will be rise as early as next month once they have this gas price that they are going to import, because that plant in Malacca is not ready yet. So the big issue is that we have no sustainability in our power systems. I mean, the grid. So what we will encounter in the future is what we call a power crisis, meaning there's shortage of supplies, and there's not much the renewables energy can do to compensate all the energy generation. It's quite a lot, so it's not that easy that we want to move ahead with all renewable energy, but that is possible. Maybe in the near future the price of renewable energy will drop significantly, and hopefully it will be on par by 2015.
Excuse me, how long will it take?
So as you can see, all the issues and problems that is related to maybe to your businesses, because electricity cost is going to rise, and there's nothing we can do about it. What we, as a company, as a service provider, we rather think it as an energy dilemma. What is the dilemma? The dilemma is this: the increase in energy consumption we are going to have to double our energy consumption by 2050, but we also have to reduce our carbon emission by half. So this is the dilemma, going opposite direction. So how do we do it? So this is the challenges that we are facing today in the world. We are now reaching at 7 billion people, and these are the trends in the world. Emerging markets, 75% of new demand, and coal, as I mentioned, is still continues to grow, although I think this has been driven by the population itself, because as you can see, it's been rising significantly during our age. So, and now the main issue is this, the resource competition and the political instability in the Middle East and everything that will affect overall the price of oil. And this will surely drive down your profits if you have a business or operating. So these trends are here to last, unless of course we do something about it. So what we know is that we cannot stop world population or the energy demand growth. But what we can only do is now we change the way we use energy and reduce those greenhouse gases that we are contributing. And these are the challenges. We have challenges both in the supply side and the demand side. Well, the supply side, we need more efficient and cleaner supply. These are the challenges. So, and the demand side, we need to use energy more efficiently or manage them better. So, how do we do it? So, first of all, we're going to deploy demand supply management and metering and analysis of your energy usage using current technologies that allows us to target 10 to 40% savings out of the whole building consumption. And of course, these are short-term approach, meaning it can be done straight away. And the capex required is very minimal. And then the supply side, which is the renewable energy. We are developing technologies and business model as also other manufacturers are also driving down costs to create a more feasible business model for people to adopt renewable energy. And Malaysian government also introduced the FIT that would encourage all the renewable growth. So this I would call mid-term approach, meaning their returns is in between 5 to 10 years. The short-term action, their returns are fairly less than 5 years. So this is our company. We are basically involved in 70% of end-user energy consumption. I will explain this later, how we contribute to 70% of this. But first, we must think efficiency first. Like what in PV panels also, we must increase the efficiency of the solar cells. So does our usage. We must increase the efficiency of our usage in energy consumption. So before that, we're going to take a look at some facts that might be helpful for business to make well-informed decisions. These are the buildings and industry are the first greenhouse gas emission contributors. As you can see, almost 44% comes from buildings and industry. So as you can see, electricity alone contributes CO2, the rest is like land use, deforestation and everything. This is the greenhouse gas from building power. As you can see, there is almost half of what causing global warming. So unless we do something, we are going to have trouble in the future. So this, and they are also the industry and users are also the first energy consumers. So in industry and infrastructure constitutes around 31%. Data centers and networks, which is a lot in Cyberjaya, it's just around 2% of the whole consumption. And 80% is on buildings and 21% is on where you live. So that sums up around 71%. So the consumption usually comes mainly from cooling, heating, and motors, lightings, and other electronic computer servers and everything. So this is what we propose for short-term approach for companies. First, we're going to do what we call the energy audit and measure, where we will install some smart plugs and measure your current consumption in terms of breakdown. We will show something later. So first is, of course, the step is fix the basics, meaning first of all, if you can change your devices such as your lightings to more efficient lightings. And then the reason why we do energy audit is to identify energy hogs, meaning identify where the most energy is consumed in that building. And of course, we have to do a pre-audit on the bills, and we will come out with a report of the full breakdown of electricity usage in terms of lightings, servers, PCs, anything that uses electricity. So and then the second step is we optimize and automate using the energy management system, which is basically a software connected to a few hardware with some wireless sensors that sends it to the central. We'll explain that later. And with real-time monitoring and timer settings, which we can switch on and off by using just the software, you can have total control of your building. And of course, the last one, if you did not monitor, maintain. Yeah. Of course, the most important one that people usually forget when they incorporate these smart meters in their building is that they forget to monitor, maintain, and improve their energy consumption. That's why we also provide a service called the energy coaching monitoring services and the analysis software. And after that, when we already identify all their consumption and define it to the very best detail, then we will come up with energy efficient solutions such as the voltage optimization, the air conditioning solution, chiller, and motor solutions. So this is how we contribute to that savings. In the fix the basics, we supply LEDs for lighting. And then optimize through regulation and monitor, we use what we call an energy management system, in which you can monitor if that building have a renewable energy system. Also, you can monitor those generation with this software. And you can also monitor water and gas using pulse meter, so you can detect leakages that will contribute something in the GBI points if you are going for that as a property developer. And the air conditioning, we can install some what we call the clip-on sensors, which we will monitor the usage of air conditioning. And also the central IT, lightings, desktop, and other printers, group printers. We'll monitor through that central controller and send that information through the internet to a secure data center in UK. So over there, our customers will enjoy reports and analysis and control by a click of a button, so they can produce KPIs and they can target. It's easier to target when you know. So when you don't know about where your electricity is going, so it's hard to really make a decision. But with this software, you are able to know to the exact detail of where your energy is being spent. And then you can take action, you can set targets. So as a company, we like to set targets, sales targets and everything. So in terms of our electricity, with this software you can define in a much more clearer way. So, and we are confident that with this software, with the past case studies that we have done, we are able to produce up to 30% savings of your current usage. So you might wonder, where are the savings? So, in the industry and infrastructure, usually the main appliances that uses the most is the motors, which accounts around 60% of the electricity usage. If you are in manufacturing company and you have a lot of motors, so that uses a lot of electricity. And for data centers, usually half of it comes from the cooling system, power and cooling system. And for normal buildings, usually we focus on those three key areas, which is the heating, ventilation, lighting and integrated building solution. So we can save up to 30% on buildings. So, but on the industry, we can only find solutions from 10 to 20%. So, and for residential, the range is higher, which is 10 to 40%. So, because lighting and other appliances at home usually constitute about 40% of your total. So the other 50 probably air conditioning. So, and you know, the bad news that I gave to you earlier about the energy going to rise, which is the price of electricity. Well, apparently it's good news for in terms of investment in both renewable energy and energy efficiency, because that will make us on par, and our return on investment will reduce to a level which clients want to see. Because one of my experiences is that when dealing with clients, companies, and corporations, is that they are looking at a maximum return of investment of 5 years. So that's a tough call for the renewable energy. But for the energy efficiency, we manage to do it right now. Right now, we even have solutions which produce just paybacks within months, meaning not even a year, if you follow the Energy Coach program. So over the past 5 years, the paybacks have decreased by 30%. So this is the IBM case study in UK, not in Malaysia. We have IBM here in Malaysia as well. So those are what they do is they do a program, and then 3.5 months in which they do some surveys first within their employees. Their office have like around 45 metering points, which they have some cubicles and everything. So, and one of the ideas is that they let know of the information, to some of their employees, meaning they share their energy usage in detail with one of the employee, and the other they didn't let know, so that they can see the difference between the one who knows and the one who don't know how they use their energy. And you can see straight away the energy usage was lowered by 20% just by simply changing behavior, usage, and set some timers and automations with that. So I think that's pretty much a good deal, with considering the return on investment is around less than 2 years now. So, and of course, we are also involved in renewable energy, but of course, in renewable energy we need careful planning before we actually deploy these systems on your roof or maybe your areas. We are involved in wind energy and solar energy as well. So, and then these are our core values when we approach renewable energy installation case. So the first value is greenfield, which we will do some research on the suitability of putting renewable energy on the area, and then we can serve as a turnkey solution provider, which all the other related equipments will be supplying and installing as well. And of course, the last one is the technical and commercial management of that system. In the wind energy department, wind energy, of course, in Malaysia is not very popular source of energy. Now, one of the reasons is that Malaysia did not have what we call a wind map, meaning define which annual wind speed in different regions. But we have this for solar in terms of irradiance. That's why solar in Malaysia is pretty much developed rather than wind. So wind is a bit slow. But right now we are discussing the tariff with the government on putting tariff for wind energy. So this is what we do in wind energy. As you can see, they are the fastest growing renewable energy source in the world currently, by the world, but not in Malaysia. In Malaysia, still renewable energy is by hydro and solar, I think. So, and then for solar energy department, we also do design, supply, install system. But we usually cater to smaller clients like residential and commercial, because a power plant will require much more stringent planning and selection of suppliers. So for the residential scale, we have both integrated and retrofit solutions for the type of installation. So FIT for Malaysia starts as of December last year, so just 1 month. So there are one of our projects that received the certification, so we are going to install that system in March. So these are the available PV quota, but there's some setbacks in the renewable energy is that they have put a quota on renewable energy systems such as solar. So it's not that good to drive installations, from my personal view, but I think its main concern is the cost control, meaning the money that the government receives. They are limited, and TNB also have limited funds for the development of renewable energy. But these are the available quota. As you can see, 2012 is almost gone. I think the remaining one, I don't know whether that can be taken up. But in 2013, we have some more for residential, individual clients, and the rest is to be announced later on. Well, I spoke to some of their officials to get this FIT quota. Is that you have to ensure that all the submission is all is in place. I mean, all the documents is in place. Then only you will get that quota. So, if any of the companies that apply for that quota that was previously taken, it will be reimbursed back once if that company failed to deliver on time. So this is the problem with it. But then again, let us summarize what are the benefits of both renewable energy and energy efficiency. This is very important because in terms of business case certainty, this what CFOs will consider. The available incentives, feed-in tariffs. Right now, the available incentive from the government is the investment tax allowance, which gives some tax relief to investments in renewable energy, and the financing scheme, GTFS, and of course the new feed-in tariff. And of course, the other benefit is, the clear benefit is that it has significant operating advantage. You can reduce your building's operating costs, and it is also a hedge, what we call a hedge against rising utility rates. Meaning you protect yourself from the vulnerability of an energy increase in the near future. And of course, renewable energy, these are the pros of renewable energy. They have very low maintenance and very high reliability, but very high capex. So that's the setback for renewable. But I believe, again, 2015 we will be slightly on par with the rest. So these are the, and then companies as a corporation, when they invest in renewable energy, is that they have marketing advantages. They can have their reputation for quality, and they can get media attention, because if you go green, build solar plants, you will sure get in the papers as well. And of course, the investment advantages. You can never go wrong investing in it, just that how fast or how slow the returns are. Those are the only concern. And these are some of our, because we are a very small company, there's only a few projects that we have done. So one of them is changing LED lights for a whole house, which around 56 units of downlights, 9 watt, and that is. And then we also do some wind assessment service, in which initially the client wanted to install wind turbines. But then again, we said that in an urban area, you have to be careful before you want to go for wind, because in urban areas, there are a lot of blockages, and they might not be good because of the high turbulence might affect the whole system. So in that sense, we do a comparison in between. Once we do the wind monitoring, we'll compare with that of the average solar can produce, and if solar produce more, we will advise our clients to go for solar. And that's what happened to that project. So, and then this is our ongoing, not yet completed, still in discussion. So one of them is IGN Land, one of the property developer in Penang. They like the development. They wanted like to put wind turbines like nearby houses. So, but this currently at a greenfield development stage, meaning they only started piling works over there. So the main issue is that the blockages in between those buildings. So we are trying to minimize that and currently working on it still. And then, of course, the second Penang Bridge, of course, they wanted to install a vertical wind turbine as a demo at the Surau building, which is expected to be complete by June. And there's, and of course, we also currently working on a wind farm project in Sabah. We are proposing an initial of 100 megawatt, but actually since they have set some limits in the renewable energy sector, we might break this down into phases of 30 megawatts probably. So as you can see, wind when at a small scale is very unattractive due to its high capex. But when you go big, you can see that the price per kilowatt is only 5,700 ringgit per kilowatt peak. So an average solar in Malaysia for residential and commercial is around 15,000 per kilowatt peak. The whole thing installed. And the proposed feed-in tariff for the large scale onshore is around 36 cents. So that's quite fairly low, but only for few sites. That's the thing about wind. You cannot install it anywhere. You must do some research. You must find the wind, find good locations, and make sure the returns are good. If not, there's a lot of investment to lose. This is the client that cancelled and they want to install the solar installation, 4.9 kilowatt peak, but going to be installed in March. So as I said, we are still very new and still developing. And we usually, for property developers, we provide a project sample which we propose to PKNS on their laman PKNS. So they wanted to go for GBR Platinum, which is 86 points. And we can contribute at around 31 points with our current products and services, which overall is 36%. And the 40 kilowatt peak solar system is around 550,000, so it's quite expensive. So as you can see, the others are very much cheap if you minus 630. So these are, and the overall return on investment is around 6 years. So because of that renewable energy being put in that, so the return on investment is a bit higher, but it's still fairly below 10 years. It's still a good investment for my opinion. So I guess that's all that I'm going to present. So any questions you can ask, Mr.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ali, for your very informative presentation. Now, I believe we have lots of time for the Q&A sessions. Please introduce yourself and your company before you proceed with your question. Anybody would like to ask anything to Mr. Ali or Mr. Izzat? Or maybe to Tisha?
So, 25 minutes ni kurang lah ke depan.
30 minutes. Sebab ni I start lambat.
We would actually like to encourage a very interactive session today. We brought with us our
Tapi yang presenter sebelum
we
present
brought with us our
sekejap.
PV module, which I believe Encik Azri would like to
Because
bring to
start
the
on time.
front. For those who are not so well versed with the solar
Kan
industry,
start
please feel
11.20
free to ask.
Bukan speech kelas tu.
No
9.20.
question is too
Hanya dia
basic,
start
no
pasal
question is too silly.